I, we, us, and ours. So the way that I've been kind of feeling all of this, or seeing it for the last few years, is in our communication. If we look at that big sphere that we're talking about, so let's say we're all one, right? And if you look at us, we're just a speck in this entire thing. So we're a speck in the universe itself. We're a speck in the entire conversation that's happening. We're a speck in the time. We're a speck in space. We're a speck. But we all have a point of view. And from this point of view, I speak.
Right.
And I speak about usually how I interact with the world itself. So I speak with what I touch, what I work with, what I use, what I see, what I communicate primarily about my world. So it's again a speck. And if I'm communicating, no matter how big it is, from this, not everybody here on the other side of the planet has the same tools, the same instruments, the same, they can't fully relate.
Right.
Some can't partially relate. Some will never relate, but there's a relationship regardless. String theory is when you see the relationship from unknown areas, but how they're interacting. So that you can see a whole lot clearer. But that's with string theory itself and actually looking at it at this level. So when we're looking at this big picture, our conversations are about, let's say, just a small segment of it. Okay, so outside of this man-made reality that we're dealing with is a greater reality that we all deal with. And this greater reality, not all of it we touch, but we're all communicating knowing it. So not all of us will go to space, but we speak of space. Not all of us will know snow, but we all speak of snow. So not all of this is in our control or stuff that we'll experience or not experience, but we take it as an understanding. And we take this communication that we've had over years and over all this stuff. And what happens is in this realm, there's a whole lot of you, them, theirs, those, others. And there's a whole lot of conversation in this world that's them, theirs, those, you. And we use it in a manner, we use these words as elements to teach, to serve, to lead people in a direction, to make believe. But we use these terms, and it helps us operate our material world and understand, and it helps us work within our day-to-day world. Staying in that grateful moment, in that present state, is where we want to be. So grateful for all we have, grateful for all we interact with, grateful for all that we're learning from. You know, what would it be like? I don't have to know what it would be like. I see it and I don't want it. So it's a way for us all to navigate with this greater that we have. This ability to use you develops in our conversation. It develops in our communication. It comes and it takes its place and it becomes a ruling entity. We do a lot. You is a force of its own. We do things to be part of a you, to break from a you, you is used in judgment a whole lot, and it's all great. But in this space, where we're talking about, in this ethereal, in this prior to it coming, prior to it existing in this, three-dimensional plane, prior to all this knowing, this understanding, this gift we have, this enlightenment, this fulfillment that we know exists in a place where we're responsible for all of it, where we are our God, where I say I am, we are, us, ours. It's in a place where I am responsible. And in that space of being responsible, is where we can talk from. I am responsible for this interpretation. I am responsible for this. When we speak about you and them and those and theirs and others, diversity exists there. So in this realm, in this big, at the point of the story, there is no others. No, it's I, we, us, ours is the only thing that lives in that center feeling area. You can only feel if you're a part of it. So at the center of all of it, there is no you. There is no them. There's other, could be an explanation of what you see, your reflection, but all of it's just a thought that kind of gives you that direction. So at the center where we're going to build and where we're talking from, I, we, us, and ours, you just does not have a place. Them and theirs doesn't exist in this world of solutions, this world of our enlightened state realized. And with that, I'll find it. So, like when you were talking about the pineal gland, like everything is emergent of itself, but we reveal how this divine creation has situated itself to be revealed, I think, is how I could say it. So even though everything is thought and in the moment, we presently are able to see form and operate on each other and work in this material world of ours, and we're able to do all this and see, and we can look at, you were saying the pineal gland, we can actually see how this divine design has allowed us to hidden itself, or allowed us to see through it, or allowed. But when we were talking about the pineal gland, and it's amazing, but the tools that we have today allow us to see everything. But what we're seeing is how our thoughts play out in that medium. Like each tool or each line of thought, each like when you get a doctorate of philosophy or a doctorate of medicine, or you're literally getting a certificate saying that you're studied in that school of thought, which is a lens that you're using to look at the world, to look at the subject matter, and you're looking through that instrument. So if you have a doctorate in philosophy, you're looking through that lens. So with the lenses that we're able to see this pineal gland and how it operates, and it's still an instrument that we're using, but the instrument is within this entire whole. So we don't need to dissect. We don't need to spend all this on large hadron, whatever, the boson thingy. We like a lot of our energy and our time and our money and our stuff is spent on looking at stuff with such great detail, looking, that macro and the micro, and all of that is just taking stuff to the nth degree. All of our movies, go further and farther, and they go to a greater and greater and greater degree when the thriving, where we thrive, where we'll see the pineal gland light up, where we'll see all this, but it lives in where we unite, where we come together as one, where we find solutions, where we're able to be still in the moment, fully feeling the moment and speaking of what we do have in the moment and all of the tools and stuff, creating solutions out of nowhere that were right in front of us this whole time. And it's just a matter of us all at once seeking. And when we seek, we find. But we have to choose first. And a lot of our communication has been to lead us to this moment of realization. Everything is for this moment of realization where we can call bullshit on the whole thing and just come together, trust, accept. It's about living in the moment and healing ourselves, use what we have and realize we already have the tools. It's communicating them with honesty and with the divine essence of wanting to serve all as one for all. So that's what as we come together, that's kind of how I see that.